It's going to keep getting better by the grace of God Almighty. Today again, we want to look at the polity actually in Nigeria is getting heated up now. Things seems to appear to be confusing, especially within the petroleum sector. And like we've always said, petrol is so important. And any government that is able to fix the energy sector has fixed 80% of Nigerian problem. But as it is now, definitely there are a lot of powerful interests. There are those who are benefiting from the crisis. There are those who are probably making a lot of money from it. And so they know what to do, but they don't want to do it because as far as they're concerned, it's going to affect their resources, the money they've been making for years and billions. And at times you begin to wonder, these people are not young people. I'm talking about people that are 70, people that are 60. And you wonder where do they really think they are going to? I don't understand. Where do they think that are they taking the money anywhere? Because most times it doesn't make sense. Some of these people have been in this same business for over 40 years, non-stop. I'm talking about 40 years non-stop. They've been on this issue of this oil business and the rest for years. I'm making so much money. I wonder when are they going to retire to have time to enjoy the money they are making? Because they just be making the money and making it, and one day they will just die and that's the end. So it's a tough one, but it's something that any government which is well for its citizens will be able to address. Because any government that is able to address the oil sector will be able to address, as I said, 60 to 70% of the problem of Nigerians. Because the way things are going now, if things are not quickly arranged, and if the president, our prayers that the president quickly in his wisdom will be able to solve this energy sector, the petroleum sector. If not so, there's going to be a major crisis. I keep saying it again and again and again. At the moment now, fuel is about 1,000 naira, which is unbearable if Nigerians cannot afford it. It has made the people extremely poor. The price of goods have gone up. The other day I listened to the news where there was an instruction that commodity marketers, those who sell commodity and the rest, they were given 1 month to reduce their price. And I tell myself, I know definitely there are some criminals among them who will buy something for 10 naira, they want to sell it for 500 naira. I know there is, but it's because we set the stage for them. The stage was set up for such activities by the government himself. It is what people buy that they will tell you that is what they buy, that they will sell. These things were not going on before until we have this issue of oil. But I pray, the other sharing news again, which I've received a lot of calls from everywhere asking me, is it true? And I said, I don't know. This is the same thing we heard, that Dangote refinery, in the next 48 hours, will receive oil from petroleum from Dangote refinery. There's no reason why we should not have a refinery station in Nigeria. You begin to ask yourself, is it a cost or what? Is Nigeria a cost? There is no reason. There is no reason on earth why we should not have up to 4, 5, 6, even 10 functional refineries in Nigeria. Functional refineries. For goodness sake, we have oil. Why take the oil outside Nigeria to refine it and bring it in this modern generation, in this modern life? Our government is making this country look like a laughing stock in the Committee of Nations. You have oil. You have crude. You have crude oil in abundance. And you take the crude oil to another country, to their refinery, to refine it and bring it back to your country. It's a very foolish joke. I don't want to say it's an expensive joke. It's a foolish joke. It doesn't make sense. Are you telling me that there's no leader, there's no president that has been in this country from 1990 now, that will be able to say, no, this nonsense should stop? We can't begin to refine our products outside Nigeria. You look at the cost of taking the crude there, the cost of bringing it back. All these things will add to the cost. They should think about the poor man. Those in government can afford it. Those who have made government money, their money since 1999 can afford it because they have accumulated so much. Nigerians know this. They've told you more than enough. They are too rich. Some of them are feeding fat from the state fund. Some of them have retired. They are no more governors, but they are no more in active service. But they receive pension. There are some governors that receive pension, including the money they even embezzled when they were head of state or when they were governors. They still go home with pension. Some of them are even in the Senate, where they were also making extra money. So even if fuel is 5,000 naira, they will be able to afford it, because these guys don't know what poverty is. So we should do everything possible. The suffering, again, I keep saying, is much. People have been in the queue for days. Today I was going out. I didn't go with my car. I was just going out. I went to the car, and I saw the queue for fuel. And you begin to wonder, how does Nigeria, how did Nigeria manage to continue to be like this? The fact that Nigeria is still standing is a miracle, because no nation has been so mesmerized and pushed to the wall the way Nigerians have been pushed to the wall by successive governments. So they have not taken it for granted that Nigerians can be used and dumped anyhow. You can use divide and rule, give some people money. Even if they want to strike or protest, just give some people money so they can have a counter protest. We don't need all those ones. Don't they love this country? These are Nigerians. We're not staying here forever. America was built, I keep saying it, America was built by Americans. Why don't we say we want to build Nigeria so that our great-grandchildren can be proud of us? Why don't we make a name for ourselves? A name. Why don't we fight for legacy's sake? Some of these guys, as I said before, these fathers have made so much money. They don't need money again. The money is too much. Even if you want to be eating 1 million every day, the money they have, in the next 200 years, they are still eating it. The other day I saw something on social media, and I just pray it's not correct. I pray it's not true. Where you see warehouse, where they load money in a warehouse. And you'll be ashamed. So which kind of people are these? Is it the God that created Americans, the God that created Britons? Is it the same God that created Nigerians? Because it's very difficult to understand. You just pile of money in a warehouse, just leave it there. When people around you, your community, your environment, they are suffering. Some places don't even have water. Look at schools. I saw some of the schools in Edo State and the rest when one of the gubernatorial candidates went there to campaign. And I saw what they did. I was amazed when I see the school. And I said, is this a school? Is it a functional school? Because even in the time of Mongo Park, they didn't have this kind of school. In the time of Mongo Park, over 100 years ago, over 120 years ago, they didn't have this kind of schools. You can have this kind of schools in a state where a governor, where a Nigerian is a governor. A Nigerian is a governor in that state. It's not a foreigner. Look at the school building. Some of the places, the dilapidated. If rain is falling, definitely the ceiling is gone, the zinc is gone, no chair, bushy environment. The children will be their neighbors to snakes, to cobras, to all kinds of reptiles. As a functional school, in a school where the governor, it is in Nigeria. Look at the roads. And somebody has this kind of pile of money that he just piled. You have to say, what is he piling it for? Suppose rat enter that warehouse. Suppose all these insects and rats begin to eat up, because these things are paper. Before you know what is happening, 80% of the money must have been destroyed completely by insects and the rest and by rats. It's not using it to open companies where people can work. No. He just piled the money there. I saw it and I said, I'm not sure this thing is real. Maybe it's this photo trick. So people say, no, it is real. This is the Nigeria we are living in. This is where we find ourselves. Except we have change of attitude. If we continue with this same kind of mindset that we have today now, Nigeria is not going anywhere. Because that mindset will continue among our leadership to oppress people. We don't have leaders, we have rulers. People who just want to oppress. That is, they just want to make you to know, say, yes, I'm the governor, I'm the president, too. They will oppress people. It's not about service to the people. They don't care about the people. I keep saying it again and again and again. Because with the little money we have, they would have been able to make Nigeria a little bit comfortable for the people. But anybody that comes, any president that comes with his gang, come with his crew, come with his boys and the rest, and they are just there to be looting and looting and looting. Now, this is 2024. Very soon, we'll be moved to 2025. And so, we only have next year for any governor or president to perform. In next year. Because as from 2026, they are already campaigning for 2027. So we only have, so this government only have 1 year to perform. And look at the enormous problem, crisis, kidnapping, all kinds of things. I saw something that time on the social media. I also saw it in the newspaper. But I thank God that the security agents were able to clarify the issue that their vehicles and the rest got stuck in a mud when they were trying to chase Boko Haram and these bandits. You know, and that's okay. You know, even though there's supposed to be air support, at least I will see what is happening between the Israelis and you see what is happening between the fight between Hamas and Israelis, where the planes, the pilots will go and take care of the area before the ground troops will come in. You know, but the situation where we see people dancing, the Boko Haram, the bandits dancing and happy, and even setting Nigerian military vehicle on fire. There's no single military man there. They say they captured the vehicle. That initially they say they captured it, but thank God they say no, it sank. So it is sank and they left it there. There was no reinforcement to think of what they can do about it. They just burnt it to ashes. We are supposed to be chasing bandits. Now the bandits are destroying military vehicles. Now, if military vehicles are not safe, then how are people safe in their homes? You know, so I keep saying, you know, the whole thing we are seeing is not encouraging. The whole thing when we see this thing and we see what is happening in other countries through social media, you begin to wonder, which kind of country is this? And don't forget, our military is one of the best in the world. Our military is one of the best in the world. Each time they travel out of this country for peacekeeping and the rest, they come out as the best. So if they are not performing well in Nigeria, there's something is wrong somewhere. I mean, during the Buhari regime, people say, well, maybe because he's a Fulani man, and so he was able to manipulate the system and made it impossible for the army to really deal with the bandits, because the bandits themselves are Fulanis, they are headers, so he's trying to protect his people. Thank God he's no more there. Thank God he's no more there. The person that is there now should take charge and see that this thing ends. This thing ends. We have all kinds of drones we can be able to know where these guys are. They must be chased out of the Nigerian territory completely. You know, these are some of the things that we need to pay attention to. Security. We need to be serious about it. And there are other issues again in the news today which we don't really know what is going on. You know, and I might not want to comment that much on it until one gets a clearer picture. You know, because when I saw those boys that were remanded for treason, they want to overthrow the government. And look at these guys; they were like guys that have not even eaten at all. Some of them said they could not even barb their hair. Are these the kind of people that want to overthrow government? I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. And when I see even the white man, the Briton that they have been declared wanted, but I wonder, because the man doesn't look healthy. It's like a poor man staying in Nigeria, and I learned it runs a school, a bookshop, and the rest. You think to how do you want? Does he have the forces to do it? Does this guy look like the kind of person that will mobilize the Nigerian army to do such a thing? These guys are hungry guys. That's why I said. People have asked the question. I said no. We are waiting to be able to. They've been charged to court. You know, maybe they will have to go and prove the case in the court and see how this young man that looks unkept, these young men that look hungry, they will be able to tell us how these guys were able to, how these guys are planning to overthrow government. Is it a joke? These guys, so the whole thing is very confusing. It's just like a comedy section. It's just like a section out of, it's like a Nollywood movie. Because they don't look it, But again, as I said, Nigerians are waiting to see how these unkept, hungry-looking guys were planning to overthrow the government. And what are they planning to do it? They want to use riots to overthrow the government, or what? What precisely do they want to use to overthrow the government? So these are the things that in the news, we are looking at issue of the news. These are the things that we want to see how it unfolds, because so far the kind of guys we see, I think these guys, they need food. These are hungry people. So these are people that went out for end bad governance protests. And I know very well that the police know that protest is in the constitution. So they should be able to separate the protest from treason. Because if they don't, they will create the impression that people are arrested for treason because they protested. And that cannot be, because protest is part of the constitution all over the world. And apart from that, the president we have now used to be a master protester. He's a professor in protesting. He has been protesting for a very long time. And I don't think there was any time he was arrested in the name of treason for protesting. No. These are guys that protested against Jonathan. Jonathan regime in Ojota, they were all gathered there. They spoke one after the other. And Jonathan didn't say anything about it. And so if somebody that Nigerians see as a true Democrat begin to perform like this, is very scary. It's very scary. Scary in the sense that one begin to wonder if these things can happen, then democracy is fake. Then democracy is a joke, because President Bola Tinubu is seen as a Democrat, and I don't believe this kind of thing should actually happen in his tenure as president. There's nothing to be insecure about. He has 4 years. The only thing to do is to perform. When you are elected to perform, you focus on performing. Because if you are not performing, then that's where you begin to get scared here and there. There's nothing. The people, in fact, you need the people to be on your side. If he's performing very well now, it needs the people. There was one country like that I saw during the news, during the year, that it was even the people that foiled the coup. There's supposed to be a coup, but the people rose up and said, no, they foiled the coup. So the leadership is about the people. Let there be policies that will make the people believe in democracy. Because the Nigerian youth today, they don't believe in democracy. They were born, some of them were born, during the civilian era, during this democracy. That's where some of them were born in 1999, some 98, some 2000. So they've never really experienced military government. They don't know what military regime is all about. They've always known democracy, and that democracy that they've known for almost 25 years now is not performing. The democracy that is run in Nigeria now is not putting food in the table of people. It's making people poorer, especially during this APC regime. At least in the Jonathan regime, they say, oh, there was corruption, there was this, there was that, there was that. But the man just increased fuel from 75 naira to 140 naira, and the heavens came down. And now we are talking about fuel getting to 1,000 naira. So we should make democracy attractive. The only way the military can really protect democracy is when the people are happy with democracy. Then the military and the people will be able to stand for democracy. And any miscreant at all that wants to introduce something else apart from democracy will be resisted. But a situation where majority of the people are suffering, look at the fuel queue today, for goodness sake. And I wonder how these government officials buy fuel when they don't see it. When they don't see it, look at the queue. People that are supposed to be in their office working, they spend hours trying to buy fuel. People don't go to work again in the midst of this hardship, in the midst of this poverty, in the midst of this expensive, this time where goods and services are very, very expensive. People don't even go to work to make money anymore. Why? Because they are focusing on how to buy fuel. And you ask yourself, when they finish buying the fuel at over 1,000 naira, what are they going to produce and what are they going to sell? Who will buy it? Who has the money to buy it? And we pray that the government will be able to intervene. We should not use this whole thing about treason to divert the attention of the real issue of the protest. The issue of the protest is that things are expensive. People just want the government to know that people are expensive. Okay, you want people should be laughing when they are suffering. Fela sang that song, Suffering and Smiling. Should Nigerians be smiling when things are bad, things are suffering? There's no way the government will not know that people are dying of hunger, that things are very expensive. When the APC government came into power, bag of rice was 7,500. Now, bag of rice is almost 100,000. So what are they saying? The indices are there. So the issue now, we should not focus too much on this whole issue. The security agents should be able to handle it. The government should pay the attention on how to see that the cost of living is bearable for Nigerians. I keep saying again and again that please, the president should know that his name and his legacy is at stake. I mean, this is a man who has been fighting for democracy for a very long time. Imagine during the Buhari regime, I mean, during the time of Abiola, this is 1993, after the election was annulled by Babangida and the rest. This was a man that stood his ground. Tinubu spent money, his money. He did a lot of things to fight for this democracy. Now we have the democracy. He's the president. Why don't we begin to enjoy Nigeria? Why don't the president be the Mandela of our time? Nelson Mandela fought for South African freedom, South African independence. He fought for it. He fought for it. And he got it. We were happy. He was the president just for 1 year, but he made life beautiful for people. Now, we fought for civilian regime. Tinubu fought for this government. And this is the democracy that he fought for. Is this what democracy is supposed to be? People are even scared to even say, to vent their own, to give their own opinion, dissenting voices. We can't close up the space. No. No, people should be able to come up and say, no, I'm suffering. It's a common thing all over the world. Protest is a common thing. Protest is not a threat to government. It shouldn't be a threat to government. Protest has nothing to do with overthrowing any government. No. That is not the purpose. And also, please, I just want the president not to allow himself to be distracted. It is the president's name that is at stake, not his advisors, not those around him. People will not even call the vice president. Is there anybody calling the former vice president Simanjo today? Nobody's calling Simanjo. Everybody is talking about Buhari regime, because that regime was a complete messed up regime. That regime was a big mess up to Nigeria. In fact, that regime is partly responsible for what this government is going through right now. I've said it again and again. Mess up the oil sector, mess up everywhere, borrow money up and down. That shows the man doesn't have one idea about leadership at all. It was 8 wasted years. It was 8 years of the locusts and the palmer worm. Destruction of everywhere. He destroyed our values and introduced nepotism. I see people complaining right now that this government is there's a lot of Yorubas, only Yoruba. What of the Hausas cannot complain? What did Buhari do? For 8 years, Buhari turned Nigeria to a Fulani government. The CBN and every corner, it was the Fulani government. You want to get contract, pass through Fulani. For 8 years of Buhari's regime. We don't need this kind of democracy, for goodness sake. It should be inclusive democracy. It doesn't matter who is the president. It's a democracy where we choose the best hands to perform, the best hands. The best hands to turn the country around for good. That is the democracy we are talking about. Where it doesn't matter where you come from. As long as you are good, you'll be given office to perform. Look at the ministers that are there now. How many ministers are performing? You don't even know whether these ministers are existing. There are many ministers who don't even know whether they are existing. But you have almost 48. What are we doing with all these ministers? What are they doing? For goodness sake. They just wake up in the morning, go to the office, drink tea and sleep and get back home. Just like some members of the National Assembly. You get to see them, they just sleep. The only time they wake up is that when they went to say the eyes have it, and they wake up for sleep and say, yes, the eyes have it. Depends on whether it is a vote against North and South, or a vote against Christians and Muslims. That is when they will wake up from sleep and they'll say, okay, if you're in favor of the North, say the eyes. Then they'll just wake up from sleep and say, aye, okay, the eyes have it. These are people that are paid 21 million to go to the National Assembly just to say the eyes have it. Just to say the eyes have it. What a waste. A country with so much intelligent men. Men that can think outside the box. Men that you will put there and they will be able to think. And bring out policies and issues that can develop Nigeria. We have them around us, but no, they will not get to the National Assembly because they don't have Godfather. They don't have money to manipulate INEC, and they don't have all this kind of cash. To win the primaries, they don't have because you need money. Look at what happened during the presidential primaries. How dollars was flowing up and down. Is this the kind of democracy that any sane man, civil servant, somebody that has an idea, where will he get the money from? So we keep having the wrong people. As long as they have money, it's the wrong people that will continue to be there. We shouldn't. This country belongs to all. This country belongs to all. And it is to the interest of those in authority now that they get it right. Let the democratic space be open. Let the next election be one of the best. Tinubu should not bother himself whether he's elected or not. Let him just do the right thing. It doesn't need more than one term. That's what Buhari did. After being in office around 2015, towards 2019, we kept hearing 4 years is too small. Give him time to finish what he started. What did he start? Nothing. And what did he finish? Nothing. Just go to the government house and sleep and make money, and his friends, family and friends are making money. And it's one of the most wasted years in Nigerian leadership. So it's not about whether Tinubu comes back again. That should not be his focus. Let his focus be leaving a mark for himself. Like I've always said, I've said it again and again, Buhari was there for 8 years. What came out of it? Nothing. In fact, it is better to be there for 4 years and you do wonders than to be there for 8 years and completely fail, woefully fail. What we need is performance. What we need is a president that can perform. It's a government that can perform. That is what we need. A government that can bring the citizens out of suffering and poverty. That's what we need. Everything is falling apart. The government is falling apart. Too much challenges. The biggest challenge today now is hunger and poverty. Hunger and poverty is the biggest challenge this government is facing. To be able to bring down poverty so that Nigerians can live as human beings should be the number one task of this government. And for you to be able to achieve that, I want to advise the president, do everything possible to see that fuel price go down. We can't be talking about international price of fuel in Nigeria where we produce it ourselves. Do they do that in America? They don't do that in America. They don't do that in Europe. We are the 6th largest producer of oil. They want to sell oil to a refinery in Nigeria, so we sell it in international price. You begin to wonder, what do you mean international price? Is it a crime for Nigerians to be comfortable? Is it a crime for Nigerians, or is it a Western agenda that Nigerians will continue to suffer? Reduce the cost of fuel. When fuel was 100 and something naira, people were going through hell. Talk of now that it's 1,000 naira. We pray, we keep talking and talking in this program, and as we keep talking in various platforms, that please let the price of fuel go down. If the price of fuel go down, things will go down automatically. And Nigerians will be grateful to Tinubu for life. The only way to solve this is government policy bringing down the cost of fuel. Any other thing they say will not work. No matter the policy, as long as fuel is still expensive, things will still be expensive. I mean, they look at the minimum wage, for example. For the past 3 months now that Nigerians are suffering this massive fuel queue, the cost of transportation has increased drastically. They increased minimum wage to 70,000 naira. The cost of transportation now has made that minimum wage that was increased to make it useless, completely useless. Where you normally go with 200 naira for transport, now it's 500 naira. Where you normally go with 200 naira, now it's 500 naira. And I told myself, those who are going to work and they are paying so much to go to work, what is the salary? What is the salary? Okay, minimum wage. Where they are paying 200 naira to go to work, now they are paying 1,000 naira to go to work. The same work. So at the end of the day, what is the use of the increase? What is the use of the increase? I went to buy some things 2 days ago, and the guy, the Igbo boy that was in the shop, he said, immediately after the hunger protest, things became worse. So the hunger protest didn't change Nigeria, it made Nigeria worse. The cost of things became extremely worse immediately after the hunger protest. Take care of the energy sector. Take care of it. Take care of it. Thank God, like they said, the Dangote refinery is about to start working. As we thank God, somebody called from abroad and asked, I learned Dangote refinery will start. I said, yes. So that will be good for you people in Nigeria. People are praying that it works. Other refineries should begin to work. Forget about this international price. Let's make Nigerians comfortable. Those in World Bank are not staying in Nigeria. Let them relocate to Nigeria. Let them know what Nigerians are going through. We need a radical president. Not radical to his people, radical to foreign interests. Protecting his people against foreign exploitation. That's the kind of president we want. Not a president that will just be dancing like boy and following international discussion. Because the international players, they will do everything possible to see that Nigerians have been exploited. It is not today. It has been like that for a very long time. It's not just in Tinubu's regime. The IMF and the World Bank want to control things, want to control our government, want to control how we live. We should be able to stand and say no. These are Nigerians. My people are Nigerians. We have oil. Let's make it comfortable for them. Reduce the price of fuel. Let them reduce the cost of crude they send to Dangote refinery and other refineries. Reduce the cost. Don't sell it in international market. This is not international market. We're talking about Nigerians. There should be something Nigerians are benefiting. Every developed country in the world has something the citizens are benefiting. For example, like I keep saying, they subsidize food in America. They subsidize it. They subsidize energy in Germany. There must be something the government will do to make life bearable for its people so its people can develop. The level of unemployment will get worse. Why? Because companies will continue to lay off. I said it before, even in our own offices here, we are trying to do some restructuring to reduce a lot of things. Why? Because of the cost of production. Because of the cost. You are talking about NEPA light expensive, you are talking about fuel. How can you survive? How many liters of fuel do you, you are in a place where you use about 6-7 hours, about 10 hours on gen. That one alone is about between 10 to 12,000 naira you'll be spending every day for only fuel alone. Where are you going to put the cost? On people who are already hungry, people who cannot afford it? So some of these issues are issues that I believe the president will address. We'll continue to say it every day until it gets to the ears of the president. Take care of the energy sector. If that's the only thing you do in this first term, Nigerians will even beg you to come for second term. There won't be any. Now there are a lot of Nigerians that believe that the election was rigged. And even if it was not rigged, I'm talking about the election of 8-something million that brought a country of over 200 million. The president got his mandate from 8-something million people. That is not a mandate. So this is the right time to be able to secure the real mandate of the people by making the people comfortable. A year and a half of this government has been a year and a half of intense punishment, intense hunger. Very soon schools will start, school fees will start. As we are talking right now, parents are wondering where will they get the money from? Where will they get the money from? The money from this school fees, school that's about to start now. Where will the money come from? Where? People have school fees to pay, they have rent to pay. Where will they come from? We need compassionate people in helm of leadership in Nigeria. People that thinks about the people that are worried about the people that are mindful. We need a people-oriented, people-centered government. Because this government is not people-centered. It's just centered on foreign interests. It's not. You need a people-centered government. A people that is interested in what the people, a government that is interested in what the people are going through. You don't come and show your strength by punishing your people when they want to protest, bring army and police to torment them. That is not strength. That's the same thing that Hitler did. That's the same thing that Indian Army did. That's not leaders. You don't punish your people. Nigerians are your children. You don't just punish them. You make life a little bit easy for them. You ease their burden, ease their pain. Make it easy for them. Anybody that is president can use army to torment people, to follow him by all means. No. When you're a good leader, people will follow you. They don't need the army to follow you. They don't need the army to do that. They don't need police to do that. Good leadership attracts followers. People will follow you to the end. People will be grateful. People will be able to say, thank you very much. Till today, till tomorrow, Mandela is being celebrated. Why? Because he did well when he was president. He did well for South Africans. Not only did he fight for democracy, but he entered after first year he left. And they had a stable democracy. Look at the economy of South Africa. Nigeria economy used to be one among the biggest. But now look at where we find ourselves. You begin to ask, do we have an economy or is it commerce or an economy? Because nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Nothing. In terms of leadership, Bible, nothing is happening. People are suffering. People are going through hell. And it ought not to be so. It ought not to be so. And we're looking at issues at the delays on that issue again that came up that we saw also in the delays that we want to also interrogate. Funny enough, it happens to be the issue of the report that came in that a lot of most people in some of the women in Lagos, not everyone, most of the children, 27% of those children are not. That is, if it's 27%, which means if you have about 5 children, about maybe 1 does not belong to the father. Out of 5 children, 1 does not belong to the father. Belongs to somebody else. Nobody knows whether the gate man or the cook or the driver. I've seen those things before. When I saw it in the papers, I just laughed. I say it will get worse because in my days as a young man, I know what I'm talking about. I've seen it before. I've seen it. I've seen a driver sleeping with a madam, especially these rich people. She sleeps with the driver. Some time ago, a lady that has master's degree came to see me while we were discussing, trying to counsel him and the rest. She told me that a third child or so belongs to the boyfriend. I spoke with the boyfriend in Enugu. He has 4 children. The third one belongs to the boyfriend. The second one belongs to the husband. The third one belonged to the boyfriend. The fourth one belonged to the husband. And that was about 6 years ago. I've not seen her. So if she has given birth again to the driver or to the gate man, or if you have a houseboy, the houseboy said we'll take one. So she's just distributing the children from place to place. That is the country we are living in. So much unfaithfulness. That's the country we are living in. And that's the truth. If there's a free DNA test now, and you say people should just come and do DNA for all their children, there are people that carry DNA machine to the church. For example, you'll be shocked that most women will not want their children to do the test. They will refuse to take DNA machine to the church, or let the pastor announce in the church that next week Sunday there will be a DNA machine so we can do DNA tests to ascertain the paternity of your children. The church will be empty. Nobody will go. Nobody. That's how pathetic it is. A lot of men are busy training children that doesn't belong to them. That's the Lagos we find ourselves. The level of immorality is getting childish. It's getting annoying. It's getting too common. It doesn't make sense anymore. Those days you see married women. These are married women, even if they are young girls. You can be able to differentiate a married woman from a club girl, even if she's 21, 22, even if she's 18. You will know that this one is married. But now they are so wayward. They are so cheap. They are cheap, very cheap. The other day I was discussing with a friend of mine. There's a lady. We were just discussing, and she told me about her friend. A friend that took a baby boy, and they told the husband they are going for night vigil. They just went somewhere to go and stay. Went to the hotel to sleep. And said when her friend told her that when she woke up in the night to go and ease himself, she saw 2 young naked teenagers in the bed. So the boys were just taking them one after off the lights, and she was drunk. So they drank seriously and they slept. Before they had sex, they drank seriously, and they were just taking turn of the madam one after the other. And the husband is a responsible man, somewhere working. He won't know that the wife is just a cheap cold woman. Cheap, very pathetic. The other day I went to visit my friend. I was talking with my friend. Nobody invited the wife to come, but the wife just came and sat there. She put on the shirt is half, just a little bit. Cover her breast. She was not putting on brassiere, very short shirt, and she put on boxers. She sat down and she was talking. She'll be talking. By the time she'll be talking and raising her hand like this, you'll be seeing part of the breast will be showing. And I begin to wonder, what is this, for goodness sake? These people have made a mess of marriage. They have made a mess of it. They have made a mess. It was not like this before. The married women have so much respect, but now you begin to see young boys, putting stories and talking about how they sleep how they sleep with the women, their mothers' mates. I don't know. The society is a crazy society. I don't know what is going on. How they are sleeping with women. They are sleeping with their friend's mother. You know, a woman again was speaking on how she took her. She called a baby boy. I took a baby boy with her. They had sex in a particular hotel in Surulere, in Lagos. And I think he has been making promise to this boy for a very long time that he's going to give him money. And this very particular day, the boy was fed up after they spent hours and hours having sex. The next thing that this young man did was to take the woman's clothes and soak it in the water and left. And the woman said she had to leave. Some calls are trying to come. She said the woman said she has to leave. What do you call it now? She has to leave the hotel with the bedspread, or she has to beg them in the hotel that please they should give her the bedspread so that she can be able to use the bedspread to go. So she left the hotel with the bedspread of the hotel, because the boy soaked the clothes in the water. The stories are endless. The stories are pathetic. The stories are shameful. Like I said, I've had that experience before. I grew up in this town. I remember some years ago, my boss, senior brother, was sick. You know, they are millionaires. They have so much money, and they admitted him in Havana Hospital then, in the hospital. And I just went there, just a new staff, and I just went there to see this man that was sick. He was lying down in the bed, in the hospital. And I just walked in there. The wife was there. She was putting on a t-shirt. Do you know that in the hotel there where we were, this man was battling with his life, lying down, battling his life. The woman was busy opening her t-shirt, showing me her breast, that her breast is still standing. In the hotel. I mean, in the hospital. In the hospital, with the husband there, lying down at the point of death. The woman was busy because the wife was towards the head of the man. The man lied down there. You know, it was between life and death. It was on drip and the rest. Because he had stroke then. It was on the head, while I was around the leg side, just breathing in. The next thing, I was shocked to my bone marrow that in this kind of critical situation, the woman was busy trying to show me her breast, trying to tell me that look, hold it, to say yes, it's standing, it's okay. This is a mother of 4 years ago. I'm talking about something that happened around 97, 98. Not 98, 97, 96, 97. So you begin to imagine what will happen now. Because the world is not getting better, the world is getting worse. So sexual immorality, if I should put it that way, women sleeping outside didn't start now. It's just worse now. It's a regular thing. You are not safe. If you're in the office, you will not be safe. You will not be comfortable for you to send maybe a plumber. A plumber is coming to work in your house, and you know that you will not be around. It's only